しょ。
ソーランの憩い。
マイルもみちばを散らまく惜しみ。
行け。はっ、逃がさない。陣営のごとく。行け。やっ
はっせいはっ。
ご助力。
風よ雲が借りなく時。はっ。
陣営のごとく我が剣よ影に従え。瞬く間にはあ陣営のごとくやー行きましょう。
風よそほれ。
瞬く間にはっ。健康よ世の乱れを切り尽くせ。行け。行くわよ。
全部丸見えね。
マイル風の中雲の行くごと。
瞬く間に我が剣よ影に従え。はっ陣営のごとくはっはっやっはっ行くわよ。はっはっそりゃ。急がないと。
ご安心を。
もみちばを散らまく惜しみ。
はっ健康よ世の乱れを切り尽くせ。瞬く間にはっはっはっはっご助力を。はっ行くわよ。
難攻不落。
やっ
震えてるじゃない。極寒のせい？それとも恐怖？
剣女盤石。
禁止。
岩山八九。
救済はいらない。いらないの。
もういい年なのにこんな危険を冒すとは。大事になったらどうするつもりだ。誰が責任。
まあそう閣下する。
仕方ないとはなんだ。命を捨てに砂漠に行くなんて。
ああ、はいはい。何を言っとる。わしは年老いた英雄じゃぞ。でもまあなんだ。
1ヶ月。
ティナリの先生、ジュライセンを嬉しそうに怒ってるな。近づかないでおこう。
先生が悪いんだ。気にしなくていい。
先生のあんなに前回先生が興奮して人を怒鳴ったのは僕がまだ学生の頃だったよ。
そうだ。これからみんなに事件の解決を伝えに行くんだが、お前らも来ないか？それが終わったら飯を。
妥当な報酬だね。うん。
おいらもよーし行こうぜ。
見つけた。おい、これ。
戻ってきたんだな。 ほーい、ちょうどいいところに来たな。何があったのか聞こうとしてたところじゃ。砂漠に行って大変な目にあったんじゃろ。
もう解決した。
そこは問題ではない。セノもティナリも、そしてお前たちもだ。なんでそう不用心なんじゃ。トラブルにあったなら助けを求めるべきじゃ。この先輩は助っ人として最適じゃろ。それにわしは砂漠をよーく知っておるからのう。
今はファルザン先輩に逆らわない方がいい。
あ
そうだ。わしがこのことを言うのは初めてじゃないぞ。もっと他人を頼れ。わかったか？でないと。
これ早く何とかしてくれ。
助けを求められてる。ファルさん先輩、まずは落ち着いてくれ。この前
何？おお、本当かこれ。あの件を覚えててくれたのじゃな。よしよし、この先輩が昔講義を受けた場所をすぐファルザンがコレイを連れてったぞ。あいつ教練員のガイドでもやってんのか？ コップとは何じゃ？
なんでもないよ。外にいるときは水を飲むのを忘れないようにって意味なんだ。
コップはカフェに集合するという意味だ。学生時代、俺とティナにも。
なるほど。
ああ、あと2人だ。
Oh, I actually have to follow her. God damn it.
Ah, 福利厚生は昼。
そんなことを言える立場。
だがご飯は食べないと。
俺の見間違いじゃないよな。お前ら、ここで勉強でもしてるのか？
使い終わった資料を片付けてるんだ。見ろ、こんなにある。
急ぐ必要はない。
今回は。
ああ、
なるほど。沈黙の伝が身を守るために使っていた手段はそんなにも特殊なものだったのだな。長年隠し通せていたのにもうなずける。
しかもそんなにたくさんの文献が保管されてるな。
いずれその日は来るだろう。何にせよ、沈黙今回の例としてコーヒーと。
ならお言葉に甘えさ。
ああ、か。
Hello, how's it going? Oh, I'm doing well.
そこでこいつがブワーッと飛びかかって、それからティナリもすっごく強かったぜ。3戦とも全部勝ったんだ。
うわー、目の。
なかなかいい再現だった。
なんだとは？おいらちゃんと話せてただろ。まずブワーッと飛びかかってシュッと剣を突きつけたんだ。そこでバッと振り。
3戦とも勝った上に狩猟の座も譲るなんてかっこいいじゃないか。
I mean, in what sense? Like, obviously, I'm playing a game right now. I'm playing Genshin, finishing up Cyno's character quest, and then I'm going to finish up my dailies too.
当然だ。
今回は僕も強者になってみたけど、砂漠で戦うことはめったにないから、なかなか不思議な体。
そうだな。かなり壮観だったぞ。しかも。
パイモン、話に夢中になるの。
It was a pretty good story. They had a lot of interesting things. They seemed to like redesign. They either made a new area or redesigned one of the other ones. And I think that was pretty cool. And then they had this, battle between us, which was also pretty fun. Which is, just like a one-off throwaway quest. So it was kind of cool. That, like, yeah, this is a thing someone's going to do once, and then that's it. Like, you're done with the quest forever, never coming back to it. So it is cool. Like, they still kind of put the effort into that kind of shit.
家に帰る前に。
そうだな。じゃあ失礼する。
僕もお先に失礼するよ。また。
私も30人団のところにお礼を言いに行かなきゃ。それとナフィスさんが教令員の仕事の流れ。
コレイは人付き合いが上手くなったな。
みんなだんだん成長してるみたいだ。
あ。
Oh, about like 10 months. But I'm not really interested in any sort of art services or promotional services. I'm perfectly satisfied with what I'm doing. I'm not really looking to grow my channel at all.
ドタバタした後、座ってご飯を食べておしゃべりする。まさしくこれが人生ってやつだぜ。セノがおごってくれたデザートもほんとうまかったな。また来ようぜ。
旅人、パイも何もなければ俺についてきてほしいんだが、秘密だ。
だいたい見当がつくけど、確かに。
Wow. It's almost like what I literally just said wasn't heard whatsoever.
久しぶりに来たね。
It's an auto drive.
Huh. I mean, I could have sworn I said I wasn't interested whatsoever. So maybe you didn't quite get that. But yeah, I'm not interested at all. So trying to push your advertisement is really not appreciated.
ここが連れてきたかった場所。
手を貸そうか。
悪くないだろ。
わお、めちゃくちゃ高くて
旅人、振り返ってみてくれ。ここは俺の秘密基地でな。連れてくるのは親友だけだ。学生時代はよくここでぼーっとしていた。あの頃の俺はまだ幼く、友人も今ほど多くなくてな。昔の俺もセドスと同じような疑問を抱いていたんだ。天から授かった者が自分の居場所を見つけるのを助けてくれる。
君たちまるで兄弟みたいだよね。
ああ、俺もそう思っていた。当然だ。謙遜。
昔ここでおしゃべりしながら宿題をしてたら、セノがうっかり果物を落としたことがあったよね。慌ててすぐ自分でキャッチしてたけど。
あの一回きりだ。今はありえない。手を滑らせるなんてヘマ。俺は。
懐かしいね。
そんな姿の背の想像できなかったけど、なんだか頭の中でだんだんイメージが湧いてきたぞ。
その辺でやめ。先生だ。お前らはここにいてくれ。
いってらっしゃい。
おい、もう飛び降りちゃった。気をつけろよ。
More at the end of it. I assumed like, oh, it was coming back to the city. We would like wrap it up in a one-liner or two and then be done. But it's like no, it's like we meet with Cole, we go to the cafe, we go to this dude. It's like surprisingly more. That's. I mean, it's good. It's a good thing I didn't try to continue it yesterday. I was thinking I would just do it because I just thought it was going to be a question. I'm like, nah, let's just stop. I can finish it up real quick before I do my the last boss. But this is just taking a while.
先生、何一人でブツブツ言っ。
ああ、セノか。ちょうどいいところに来た。
昔の写真。
Wait, how old is Cyno? Like, okay, so clearly he's like less than 10, right? Like that's a less than 10-year-old child. But like this dude went from no gray hair whatsoever to fully white-haired super old dude. So you'd think it'd be like 30, 40 years or something like that. So wouldn't that make Cyno like late 30s, late 40s? Because I doubt you go from that to what he currently is in like 20 years. It's at least 30 years. Because this is someone who's in his like 20s and 30s. There's no way in hell he's in his 40s. And the dude, like the old dude, is like 60.
さっきナフィスと教令員に戻って手伝いの件について話してたんだが、その時に執務室に寄ってな。それでこれを見つけ。時間が経つのは早い。写真の中の君はこんなにも小さい子供だったというのに。
写真の中の先生、この写真。
ああ、確かそうじゃったな。こんな角度で撮るなぞ、あいつくらいしかおらん。よくも。
それとこっちは
こっそり撮ったんじゃろ。まったくあの娘と来たら。
先生、俺に何か言いたいこと。
はて、何のことじゃ。いざこういう時になると、わしは決して善人ではない。バムーンがわしのことを恨むのも。
What? Like speaking, like, you betraying them is irrelevant to Cyno. Like, taking Cyno away doesn't, like, negatively affect him. It's like the other dude had every reason to despise him. No, he had one reason, and that's it. You know, taking the kid who was imbued with the ball fragment. That's the only bad thing you actually did. Like, and even that is not like a morally wrong thing, right? It's not illegal because obviously this whole thing is kind of like there's no actual law against any of it. I guess maybe human experimentation. Maybe they have an actual law against that, which the Temple would have obviously violated. But like, and it's like, sure, I can't pretend to be a good person. Fine, whatever, right? I get that. But like, had every reason to hate you? No, not really. He had one reason to hate you, and that was it. Like. And Cyno too. It's like, what? What did you ever do to Cyno? Like, taking him away from there doesn't mean shit. Like, it doesn't change shit, right? Like the only possible thing is maybe if he stayed, he might have been treated better, perhaps. And so it's like, oh no, like, because I took you away and we had to live, hand to mouth, out and about, you might have lived a worse life, perhaps, as the rationale for that. But it's like, you don't know at all. Like, you don't know how you would have been treated, It's very well possible that the only reason Sethos was treated well is because he was the only fragment they had available, so they didn't resort to any inhumane, like, dissection or something like that. Because they're like, well, we can't accidentally kill this child in our experiments, so, because we only have the one. But if there were two of you, who knows? They might have been like, hey, well, we have a spare. Might as well just try all these inhumane experiments on one of them and use it and have the others a backup. It's like shit like that could have happened. I'm not saying it would have happened, but like, it's one of these dumb things where people make crazy assumptions about the past, like, oh, if this didn't happen, then this would have happened, right? Which is a logical fallacy. It's like you can't reliably predict how changing anything in the past would affect the future. Even something as like obvious and seemingly obvious as like, oh, okay, well, if I had ran this red light, or if I had ran this yellow light, I wouldn't have gotten hit by the red light in front of me, right? Because I waited for this light, by the time I got to go through the intersection, the next light had just turned red, right? And you hit that red light too. So you get hit by two red lights. Versus like, oh, well, if I'd run that first red light, or if I'd run that yellow and didn't stop for it, I would have been able to get through the next intersection too. It's like even something as obvious as that, we're like, well, yes, like 99% very true, right? Because it's like, when the red light, when it goes red later, so you would assume, oh, okay, well, I would have made this. Or vice versa too, where it's like, oh, because I ran this red light, I got stuck at this other. Or because I ran this, yellow light, I got stuck at a red light in the next intersection, and people who waited for the light behind you were able to catch up in the meantime, right? So it's like, oh, there was no point in actually running it because all of you ended up at the same spot waiting. Even something as silly as that, you can't even reliably prove because you don't know, right? So all sorts of things could happen. Now, yeah, for instances like that, sure, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, that's exactly what would have happened. But, like, we can't know. because that situation never actually occurred, so it is purely supposition. So it's a logical fallacy to make any sort of assumptions, and this is like absolutely crazy because you're just like, well, yeah, 30 years ago, if I didn't take you, you'd be living a much better life. It's like, you have no fucking clue about that, right? Like, maybe if you didn't take him, he would have gotten sick at like 15 or something and died, right? Gotten caught in a landslide or in a sandstorm or whatever and died. You know, like all sorts of crazy things could have happened because he was in the desert instead of that life. You can't suppose anything, right? So I don't like that. It's obviously wrong. I generally just don't like this as a trope in general. We get these nice people who blame themselves for things that are outside their control. A common trope is where, you know, a person's, like a serial killer's after a person, right? Serial killer after a person runs away. They're incidental victims. Like the serial killer ends up killing someone else in his pursuit of that first person, right? And that first person blames himself. Oh, it's my fault. If I wasn't there, you know, these other people would have been alive because it's because of me, because the killer is coming after me that those people are dead because I got them involved. It's like, no. Like, sure, obviously, yes. If you weren't there, yeah, it's the same type of fallacy actually, where you're assuming, oh, if this past event was different, we're presuming a specific future, which you can't do at all. Like, they could have still died. Maybe the serial killer would have been around and killed them anyway, right? Maybe if you weren't the intended victim of his, you know, murdering spree, someone else would have been, and he would have killed those people anyway as part of chasing after this other person, right? Like, you can't know that at all. And second of all, it's the killer's fault. It's always the killer's fault. Who did the bad thing? The person who did the bad thing is the bad person. Like, don't blame yourself for the bad actions of someone else, right? It's not your fault. Like, if a crazy, like, just because a crazy person says you're the reason, it's like, it's not your fault because a crazy person did something crazy, right? Like, it's dumb. You get people who are, I mean, not like people, but like in stories, you see this a lot, where you just get, because they're nice people, they're good people, they don't like seeing other people suffer, and so they see like, oh man, like, this is my fault, because they just like, it's kind of similar how whenever something goes wrong, there are people who will, rather than blame the actual cause of the issue, will blame something else, because that something else is blamable, right? Is able to be taken to task, right? Like, so if a country does something bad, country invades, right? Rather than blame the country that invades and the soldiers that are invading, you blame, you know, like your own defense force. Oh man, it's my soldiers' fault. And so anytime you see your country's soldiers, you then like throw eggs at them and shit like that. And you're like, why didn't you save us? Why didn't you protect us? Type of shit. And it's like, well, fuck off. Like, you know who's actually at fault? The people doing the bad thing. I've seen it in like other stories, not related for like something that grand, but like for heroes, like for the isekai shit, where a hero gets summoned, and so he's expected to, you know, save the world. That's why he's there, and he's a nice guy, so he tries to do it. And he gets there. He gets to a, you know, he gets to a location where demons invaded, and he kills all the demons. But then the people who survive blame the hero for not arriving quicker, right? Like somehow it's the hero's responsibility and job to save them all, regardless of how actually feasible that is, right? And realistically, who's at fault? Well, the demons are at fault. The demons were the one who invaded. The demons were the one who killed everybody. Like, clearly it's their fault. But these weak, pathetic people can't actually blame the correct source because they can't do anything about that. It would make them feel powerless, because they are. And so what do they, how do they express their anger? Well, they express their anger at something or someone that will accept it. And so they essentially is just trying to, it's a power move. It's just essentially trying to regain the power. Aha, because I said this is a hero, I've now done my part type thing, where it's like, no, you're just being a complete piece of shit, right? You're using misdirected anger to attack someone who is helping you. I don't like that. Obviously, it's human nature, so I get it. I understand, well, at least why that happens. And I understand that, like, it's human nature, too, for the self-blame. Rather than blame the actual cause of the issue, you misdirect that guilt or anger or other emotion on yourself or other people as a method of making yourself feel better. It's annoying. I wish it didn't happen, but it does. So this big guy basically did it. I mean, it happens so often. I get it. It's so intrinsic to human nature that it's like, yeah, it's going to pop up a lot. But when you read a lot of stories, it just happens so much. And it's just like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, I understand it's emotion. It's an emotional response. So expecting people to be logical at all instances is dumb and unrealistic. Because, you can't logic away emotions.
そう言いながら全部口に出すのではないか。まったくこのジジイをいじめるとはどこが英雄？またもう一枚写真が残っとるな。
これもリサ先輩が
こう見ると小さい頃は可愛くて素直じゃった。
先生も昔はまともだった。
君というやつはジョークも口答えもわしよりうまく。
そう言わないでくれ。先生のこと。
まあ。
I mean, it's not deadpan jokes. They're puns. They should have said, first you got better than me at puns.
ああ、構わない。時間を作ってよ
し、なら予定に書いておこう。おっと、来週はトマト栽培の対決じゃったな。ザーリーと
もっと他の趣味を作ってくれ。
Nothing wrong with gardening. As a hobby. Okay, so there we go, all done. Thought that was really enjoyable. Nice little story. Wow, that's really looks like shit when. There we go. That's another nice one. Okay, cool. But yeah, that was a really nice story. I really enjoyed that. Oh yeah, it's my dailies. Yeah, I thought that was going to be much quicker. But I also did waste some time ranting and shit, so that's like whatever. But yeah, like. Generally, yeah, like I don't like certain aspects and tropes. It feels cheap. Oh, I killed him. Cool. Couldn't see shit because I was stuck in the tent. But yeah, it was an interesting story. I did enjoy it, and I thought it was really cool that they had this whole new instance area. And technically, they've always kind of done that. Like I think more often than not, every single character quest has had like an instance dungeon type thing. This was the first one where they didn't do an instance actual dungeon, but just like made it just an instance area in general. And you didn't actually. Well, I mean, you did fight, but like not. You didn't fight in the. Oh, you're dead. Okay, cool. You didn't fight in the. It wasn't like the entire thing. It wasn't like a maze. And actually, technically, it was kind of a maze because it was pretty big. And I was impressed by that. I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. It's surprisingly big. Like, I was curious if maybe this was another zone. Like, because it looked different. Like, there definitely were some, like, plants and shit, so it, like, looked more lived in than all the other desert areas. But I'm curious if maybe the layout actually matches something that already existed. I'm just not sure. I can't remember. I can't remember every single zone. And then, of course, it's like, it also was, like, thoroughly lived in, too. So it's, like, hard to say. Maybe... Oh, what's this stuff? It's hard to say if, Here we go. it was truly lived in. Oh, there it is. Like, like if it was like another map, they just said, okay, cool, we're just gonna take the layout, we're gonna change some of the decorations around, or if they did a complete redesign. Either way, I mean, it still looks really cool, and you know they didn't need to do it, so it was cool that they did. Oops, fuck, I missed. Focused on that. And there were some plot holes, kind of, in the story, but I do get it. Like, I understand some things would be boring, and maybe they're in a rush, or maybe they just didn't think it through, or maybe it was explained properly in the original Chinese, or said in a way in the original Chinese that made a little more sense, or was more intuitive, and just the localization failed, perhaps. Like, I'm not saying that's what happened, but like maybe that could have happened. Like, obviously we get it such a not necessarily a watered down version, but we do get like, you know, we aren't getting a direct translation from anything. It's all five. Oh, shit. Crap. I only need 5 because I try to make 6 of everything. Simply because it takes a while to craft stuff, and I could do my potions to like instant finish something, but there have been instances, well, especially like when I was first making shit, that it was like you didn't have anything, especially for like some of the set pieces, where it's like, oh, okay, you need this for this and this for this set, so that you can have your characters come in and you get some primo gems for having the characters associated with that set pop by. So I realized, oh, actually, I'm missing a lot of I'm missing a lot of these things. Or like you may be missing too many pieces. Like you need to make, a bunch of shit. So I was like, you know what? And then of course, even like when I was actually like designing everything myself, it was like, yeah, it's like usually if you ever have, you never rarely just have one thing. You usually make a bunch. And so I didn't want to be restricted, so I'm trying to keep all my potions up. So I'm like, okay, well in the meantime, when I'm not crafting something, or when I'm not redesigning a home, I might as well just try to craft 6 of everything. So like, no matter what I want to make, I should have everything. Like, no matter what I decide or feel in the mood to making, if I think, oh, I want to go into the Fontaine the teapot background, if I want to go to the Fontaine one, because I've been buying up the plant matter, and because I've been crafting everything, the 6 of everything, no matter what I decide on doing, I should at least have a good start. Like I should have something that at least started off, and if it turns out like, oh, whoops, like I actually want a lot more of this fence because I want to like enclose a particular building or something, whatever. I already have 6 of them already, and then all my potions, so I can instantly complete a bunch of other things. Because you only have like 6 of those potions. You can only buy 6 of those potions a day, I think. So maybe a week, I forget. So you would run out quickly if it was like, oh shit, you need to make like 10 of these 10 things. Boom, that's all. If you only can stack 99 of those potions, you are now having to wait 14 hours for that one thing you still need. And so if I had 6 of everything, I would only need 4 of those 10 things. And it's unlikely you'll need that many of so many varied things. Or usually it'll be like a fence. Like usually it's like fences and stuff like that take a lot of pieces and walkways and shit, because those are the ones that want to connect, and everything else pretty much doesn't. But you never know. Like there could be some sort of decoration. You're just like, oh, that's actually really good. I want a lot of these. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time.